What's up, everybody? It's Ruby Juice back with another Let's Play on Michigan Farm. So last time we left off with finishing up the seeding. So this episode we're going to have to get around to taking care of those pesky weeds and hopefully getting down to some harvesting. So let's get right to it. So first things first, let's take a quick look at our map. Yep, we can see the weeds have certainly taken over. So we'll start out with the lights on our sprayer, but soon enough, I'm sure we'll be able to turn those off once that sun rises over there in the east. And for this first little bit, I don't think we'll be hiring a worker. We'll just take care of business ourselves. I'm not sure if herbicide gets used up faster than liquid fertilizer. If any of you do know, please let me know in the comments. So as of the time I'm recording this video, Giants has indicated that there are 3 maps in testing for consoles. Or for the mod hub rather, but as many of you obviously know, you can get mods for PC that are not approved by Giants, which is why I'm playing on this map. But it looks as though there are 3 maps currently being tested by Giants, which means they could come out on consoles at any time. So the 3 maps are the Alps Panorama at the Northern Sea, Grizzly Mountain, and Marwell Manor Farm. Now the first 2 I don't know all that much about, and I don't know an absolute ton about the third one either, but I do know that it was created by Oxygen David, who is well known and well respected for his excellent maps for Farming Simulator 17. So quite excited to see that map. I know there are some YouTube videos out showing off some of that map, and so it'll be a treat to see it in action once it gets approved, and I hope it does fairly soon. And this kind of got me thinking. I do see quite a number of people on Twitter when Farming Simulator posts things about the mods that they've released on the mod hub, which, by the way, they typically only post the mods that they themselves have created or converted over from 17. And you do tend to see quite a number of players who are upset that there aren't enough mods or there aren't enough maps, things along those lines, and it makes me quite sad to see people demanding so much of, well, Giants for starters, who, you know, the number of mods and the quality of mods really are beyond their control. They can't dictate who creates which mods and whether they get submitted to Giants for testing or not to go up on the mod hub. They can only do the testing and approving of the mods that have been submitted to them. So they're in a bit of a difficult position where, yes, I'm sure they would love to see an absolute ton of mods out for the game, given that it would increase the lifespan of the game and make the player base happy and all of those things. But they can't tell people to create mods, and they can't tell people which mods to create. And they do obviously have a set of quality standards, but you know, who are they to say that, oh, this mod that you've created, it's just a plow, or, you know, we're not going to accept any more cultivators on the mod hub, no more loader buckets. And, you know, they could come to a point where they say things like that. But I think ultimately, for them, if people are submitting the mods and creating them, then there's not much harm in approving them, as long as they're not game breaking and they don't have bugs and all of those sorts of things. So I just implore people to be kind when it comes to mods, because I find that there are a lot of sort of harsh interactions, and I have noticed that there are modders who have said, I'm not creating any more mods for consoles because the approval process takes a little while, but also it just seems as though that demographic of users of the game don't tend to understand sort of the complexities behind it. And these people are volunteers. They're giving up their own time with family, friends, or just playing the game to create new content for it for free. And I really think that goes sort of unthanked sometimes. And I know I, for one, wasn't really aware of a lot of the background, and as I've come to love the series and learn more about it, I've come to sort of understand that culture of modding a little bit. I don't pretend to be very deep into the modding scene and that sort of thing, but I've done my best to try and understand. So I think that, you know, we just need to make sure that we're always operating with kindness and understanding of these people who are so giving of their time and resources to create content for us. So that's my little rant on mods and modding and everything like that. And particularly for maps. Maps take a long time to create, especially if you want a quality map. It's going to take quite a while. So I think we just need to be patient and appreciative. There, I've said my piece. So we've finished spraying our herbicide on field number 12, and we'll take this bad boy over to field number 30 and get the job done over here. The sunrise is continuing. It's starting to get brighter and brighter out here. That's just beautiful, isn't it? Oh, for a second there I thought I was missing my field. That would be the other field there. Well, with these large fields, these combines are going to have a heyday, that's for sure. I'm very excited. We've got 2 combines that are able to run simultaneously, one of them still being relatively small in the T560, but I'm very excited to get them both going. And you know, depending on how much money we make off of this harvest, maybe we'll be able to afford another STS if that seems like something we need to do. Well, there are so many things to invest in. Do we buy a new field next? Do we go after maybe some animal enclosures, get some pigs to start making money a different way, and buy the sort of associated things that go along with that in terms of truck and trailer and those kind of things? I would say, you know, first we'll need to build up a bit of a stockpile of the crops that we'll need. So we're going to need some corn, we're going to need some wheat, I believe, and we need to get some straw, maybe do some straw baling and stockpile some bales. So there is a lot of prep work to be done before we dive into animals of any sort, but maybe with the money from the first harvest, if it's good and it's flowing in, then if we don't need to buy any more land, we can invest that money into at least preparing for animals, maybe. So we'll see. I do have the economic difficulty still set to easy, I do believe. So we'll keep it there for now. And if I find that we're progressing too quickly, then I can always turn it down. But I do think that it's probably going to be in a sweet spot to keep this Let's Play moving along and make sure that we kind of get into everything that we want to do. Well, this sprayer certainly makes quick work of these fields, doesn't it? It's got a very speedy operating speed. And it's got quite the working width. Very happy with this investment. I think this will be serving us well for quite some time. It is already down to 50% roughly maintenance, so we will have to maintain it fairly soon, but par for the course really when you consider all of the work that it's done for us. One thing I think I will want to buy fairly early on is a vehicle workshop to place at the farm, because it's a long drive down there to the shop, and I feel like, you know, with the large fields we've got here and the amount that we're likely going to have to maintain our vehicles, it seems only prudent to buy a vehicle workshop. I was considering going down to the shop to fill up with some herbicide, but I thought we may as well use what we've got. We may be able to get a fair bit of this field done before needing to fill up, so let's take care of it. So I know I've probably said it before, but very, very much enjoying this map. I love the wide open nature of it. It really feels like agriculture in North America to me. What I'm used to, what I grew up with. Fairly large fields, open with some areas of bush and that kind of thing. It's kind of hard to put into words exactly how or why it feels good. So far, no sign of our crops over there on field 12 to the northwest becoming harvestable anytime soon, but I'm sure we must be getting close. Can only be a matter of time till it's time to fire up that equipment. That's the part I'm most excited for, as I'm sure it's probably the case with most farmers. Harvest is probably the most exciting time. You're finally seeing all your hard work pay off, bringing in the money. Not sure if there's an option for helpers to buy herbicide. Let's take a quick look. No, helpers cannot buy herbicide, so looks like we're gonna have to make do with what we've got, although it looks like we might just make it. Just by the skin of our teeth. Wow. We've got a tiny little bit there that we missed, but other than that, I do believe we got it all except for that one little bit. Wow. Okay. So the good news is we know that this field here isn't going to reach its full growth state anytime soon because it's the last one we seeded. That's why I sprayed in the same order that I seeded. So we've got time to go and fill up this sprayer once again with some herbicide and come on back and finish the job. I suppose while we're at the shop, as I was saying before, we should probably get this thing maintained and make sure that we keep it in tip-top working shape so that we can keep on using it to its full capacity. And here we are. Thankfully, we've already got some herbicide purchased that we can fill up with, and it will certainly be enough to finish that field. So it looks like we've got 2 pallets of liquid fertilizer left, 1 of solid fertilizer and 1 of seed, and we'll pick up all of these pallets of herbicide. The 1 pallet of liquid fertilizer, of course, is the one that we emptied out, so it's not a full one. This will take us all the way up to 7,000, which is pretty significant. All right, let's get this sprayer maintained. Ooh, $2,000 to repair. Ouch. Guess it makes sense, given how big it is. And how expensive it was to purchase. Back to the farm we go to finish off our spraying work. Now would be a good time to look at the contracts that we've got available. This is spraying herbicide for field 8. Why don't we take that? Because you know what? We just passed field 8. Can certainly take care of business over there. We'll just have to drive across. These soybeans are ready for harvest. While that's unfolding, let's see if our other fields are ready for harvest. Not yet. 12 and 29, getting close. 30 and 20, not so much. So I've just repaid a little bit of the loan, and we're down to $1,930,000. So I think it's probably a wise choice to maybe use our first harvest to pay down the loan. If there's anything we really significantly need, we can obviously take care of that, but oh dear. But I think it would be wisest to use the money just to get rid of some of that loan so that when we do figure out what we want to do, then we can just go ahead and do it if we want to take out a loan again. Still early in the day in the game, so lots of time to get a harvest done during this day. If that's how things progress. So for now, let's get on over back to the farm, finish off taking care of the weeds. Our beautiful farm on the horizon. All that equipment beautifully lined up and ready for harvest. And we're off taking care of the weeds on our 4th and final field. A little bit of rolling terrain. You know, I could foresee this sprayer getting a lot of hours built up on it, let me tell you. It is certainly going to be heavily used. Spraying once for fertilizer, spraying a second time for herbicide. I would hazard a guess that in due course we'll want to invest in a second one of these and maybe have one dedicated as the fertilizer sprayer and one dedicated as the herbicide sprayer. Just to keep our lives a little bit simpler. It's quite peaceful just driving along and spraying, getting a chance to just sort of take in the map. And as we bring our herbicide spraying to a close, I'm going to end the episode here. I know I promised you some harvesting in this one, but it looks like we're going to save that one for the next episode, and that one is just going to be full-on harvesting, getting that crop in, getting it into the silo, and then we will see where we sit after that. So thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it, and I will see you next time.